If you identify as a people pleaser, you are likely operating on an energetic deficit every single day, and you might not even realize it. So, today we are unpacking exactly how to protect your energy and stop caring about what other people think. Build an unshakable self worth. If you struggle with social anxiety, emotional boundaries, or find yourself constantly over explaining, this video is your blueprint to get your power back to you. We are going to dive deep into why we are brainwashed into reacting, why comparing yourself to internet aesthetics is making you feel like a low, shallow person, and how to reach a state of complete neutrality. I am going to teach you the chip nail theory, how to actually treat your insecurities. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel where we talk about things that you guys have been shushing away. And in today's video, we will talk about how as a people pleaser you can stop reflecting on others' people behavior. So let's get into it. We need to start with the concept of the reaction. From a very young age, especially if you are a people pleaser and you have tendency, you are brainwashed to believe that you must constantly manage the emotions of the people around you. You are taught that if someone is upset, you have to fix it. If someone is awkward, you have to fill in the silence. So, this creates a deeply ingrained habit where you are always on the standby. You are always waiting to react. This is exhausting, and you're essentially allowing the outside world to hold the remote control of your nervous system. When you see someone give you a bad look or when someone is rude to you, your immediate urge is to react. You might try to soften yourself, you might smile wider or shrink down to accommodate them. You do this because your brain is telling you that if you don't adjust to their perception of you, you're basically unsafe. But this is an illusion. Reacting to a bad vibe with a defense or accommodated mechanism is exactly how your energy leaks. You are handling your power to a complete stranger on a silver platter. So let's apply this to the internet. You open your phone and you scroll through the endless feeds of baddies, people with seemingly perfect lives, perfectly curated aesthetics, and unbothered attitudes. When people pleaser looks at this, a toxic comparison happens instantly. So you look at them and you think yourself as a shallow person who does not even stand anywhere in the world. You feel like you lack substance because you do not look like this highly filtered, highly constructed version of reality. But let me tell you the truth that you have to internalize, okay? What you are looking is a performance. It's a 2D image. When you measure your messy, complex 3D reality against a 2D performance, you will always feel shallow. You start to think that maybe if you had their exact face features. So you start tying your fundamental human worth to the genetic traits on someone on the internet and the trends. This actually makes you completely fold in yourself, and that's pathetic. You lose your posture, you lose your voice, and you lose your presence because now you're convinced that you do not deserve to take up the space. So I have this theory called chip nail theory, and you're losing that charm. When you feel small, your instinct is to compensate. So this brings us to the core issue, how you try to solve the problem. So imagine you have a beautifully painted nail, but it gets a chip in it. Now, instead of removing the polish, filing the nail, and taking care of the damage, you decide to paint over the chip, then chip it again, and then you create another layer. And you make a layer by layer onto that. Soon you have put 1,000 layers of nail paint on that dirty chip nail. What happens? It doesn't look fixed. It looks bulky, heavy, distorted, and it looks ugly. This is exactly what people pleaser do with their personalities. You experience an insecurity, a chip. Maybe someone made fun of you or you felt awkward at that party. Instead of sitting with that feeling and healing it, you add another layer. You add another layer of being overly funny, a layer of overly helpful, a layer of never saying no. You keep layering these four traits on top of yourself, your raw self, to hide the fact that you feel inadequate. But adding layer is exactly how you lose your charm. True charm is effortless. It is light. When you have 1,000 layers of defense personality traits stacked on top of each other, people can literally feel the heaviness. You might not know why, but they can sense that, and that you're not being real. You look energetically ugly because you're hiding. How do we treat the nail? You have to strip the polish off. You have to be willing to look at the raw, unpolished, chipped version of yourself and say, this is me right now. I do not need to hide it. Treating the nail means accepting your awkwardness, accepting your physical features, and accepting your mistakes without immediately rushing to cover them up. Cover them up with a performance. Once you strip away the layers, you will suddenly find that you can hear your own thoughts again. People pleasers have this terrible relationship with their own insecurities, with their own instincts, because they spend all their time prioritizing the instincts of others. So, your body, it actually knows when a situation or a person is bad for you. You get that feeling in you. You have to locate it. But instead of trusting your feeling, you rationalize it. You tell yourself to just be nice, to just give them a chance. And you tell yourself not to be judgmental. Guarding your energy means listening to that physical cue the very first time it speaks. It means giving yourself permission to walk away from a conversation without you explaining them why. It means that you have to realize that your energy is the most valuable currency and you do not owe it to anyone, especially to people who bring toxicity in your space. You guard your energy by refusing to engage in dynamics that requires you to put those heavy layers back on. The final step to this journey is learning to trust that gut feeling again. So, people pleasers are notorious for ignoring their instincts because they prioritize other people's comfort. If your instincts say that this person is draining me, but your people pleasing says, oh, I have to be nice, you are at war with yourself. Guarding your energy is not mean, it's survival. If you want to get to the next level of your life, you cannot carry everyone else's baggage. You have to be willing to be the bad guy in someone else's story if it means being the hero in your own. So start practicing the urge to not react. And the next time you feel that pull to over explain or to fix someone's bad mood, sit with that discomfort. Let them be uncomfortable. Let the silence hang. That silence is where your power lives. This is where you find the version of yourself that does not need 1,000 layers of nail paint to feel beautiful. Trust yourself. Stop folding and stay neutral. So, how do you act in these situations? How do you actually stop yourself from folding when someone insults you or dismisses you? So, you master the art of being completely neutral. What is being neutral? It is the absence of a reaction. When someone is rude, they are throwing a ball at you. And let's say a fireball, a burning coal. And they are expecting you to catch it and throw it back. When you are neutral and you know that this is going to hurt me, you simply let the ball hit the ground and you just go away. You do not smile to appease them. You do not scowl to intimidate them. You just go away or exist. If someone gives you a bad look because they don't like your face or your vibe, let them have their bad look. Their reaction is information about them. It's not a reflection of you. When you feel the urge to react bubbling up in your chest, take a slow breath and consciously relax your shoulder. Unclench your jaw, look at them with blank, calm eyes. When you stop reacting, you become unmovable. You stop letting the world dictate your internal weather. You step out of the shallow game of comparison into the deep water of true self-worth. You're no longer a people pleaser, you're simply a person living entirely on your own terms. If this resonated with you, hit a like and subscribe to my channel and comment when was the last time you let someone terms dictate your worth. And I will see you in the next one.